out to go paint outside. And it's something that I've always wanted to do, and I always felt like, oh, in order to do it, I need to have certain materials or like a travel watercolor set. And I started painting outside a few days ago with none of those things. And it's been really great, worked out perfectly. So I thought I would document my painting today, kind of as like a future fuck you for like my future self who says, you can't do these things unless you have certain like materials. You can't do this until you've reached this step. Because really I can just go paint outside with the stuff that I have. So the stuff that I have is my watercolors, which a friend actually bought for me in my sophomore year of college. I invited her over for like a sleepover in my dorm room. We like pulled the mattresses off the beds onto the floor. And something I wanted to do was watercolor, so she actually was the one who went and bought the materials. I thought she was going to buy just one watercolor set for us to split and share while we were there, but she actually bought one for each of us. So this is the watercolor set. You can see that there's a lot of red still here because I don't use it that much, and there's not so much of the yellows or the white. It's pretty dirty because I don't really wash it, but it functions. It's lovely. And because it was something that I didn't spend any money on and wasn't like gifted to me as like, oh, you want a watercolor, here's the thing you need to watercolor. It was like, we're doing this one activity, let's buy it. I just kind of get to use it without having to worry so much about what state it's in, which has been perfect. I use it a lot now. And then watercolor paper, of course. So these are actually postcards that a friend sent to me that she intended to use for herself, didn't, and then was cleaning out her place because she's moving soon and thought maybe I'll just send them to Andrea and she can use them. So that's what these are. These are the postcards. Honestly, if I didn't have these, I would just buy watercolor paper and then cut them down to size because I just like painting on small things. So that's what I'm painting on. And then I have my brushes. I really only use this one. You can tell that I use it a lot because it's kind of grimy. And I found these two in a supply pouch. Yeah, they're just brushes. I don't actually need them all to paint. I can just paint with one, but this one's bigger and these are smaller. So sometimes it makes me feel like the details are gone better. But regardless, those are brushes. And then I have this little tin that has paper towels in it, which I also don't really need while painting because I don't use that much water. But I kind of like to have them as a safety net, and this tin was also a gift from a friend back in high school, actually. She went to France, came back, gave me this little chocolate sardines tin, and I have used it ever since. Mostly for whatever, but now that I've started painting, it's just kind of been my paper towels tin. Other things that I have is this little jar, which is my water jar. I've used a lot of different things for my water jars before, and usually my concern with them is if I use a jar and then I don't wash it out well, then I can't use that jar for other things that are like food related. So this was a jar which was a shot of American peach moonshine. So just like a alcohol sample bottle that I got because the jar was really cute. The alcohol tasted awful, but yeah, it's just a little glass jar, has a lid, and that's all the water. I don't even use the whole thing really. I can like fill it up just barely, and that's enough for one painting. And then the last thing is that I have tape to tape around the edges of my paper so that I get a nice clean border. This tape, okay, so typically I would recommend you use like painter's tape, but one time I ran out of painter's tape, but I wanted to paint, and I was like, what kind of other tape do I have that I could use instead? And that was washi tape. So this is a washi tape that was also gifted to me by a different friend. I appreciate her a lot. She gave this to me when I started my interest in stationery items. I never honestly loved the design of it. It's not very me. She bought me like a 4-pack. So the other ones I did actually use. I like the designs more of. but this was back when I didn't really use things that were gold or pink or pastel all too much. So this has just kind of been lying around, and I've been trying to not buy more washi tape before I've used up my other washi tape. So this is my version of using up the washi tape. I will keep using this until it runs out before I buy painter's tape, even though painter's tape might be more effective. But the point is, more effective doesn't matter. If I have it, we're going to use it. So yeah, those are my things, and they go in this bag. I was thinking to myself, maybe I should get like a nice watercolor set bag that I could take with me when I decide, oh, I want to watercolor outside. Here's the bag where I put all those things. But I think for now, it's not a big enough part of my life that warrants an extra bag. For now, I know the things that I'm going to use. These are just always sitting out because I like to paint. I really don't put them away. So them just going in the bag that I have. That's how we go. So I will probably first, I gotta fill this thing with water. But other than that, we just like dump everything in the bag. Ooh. When I mean dump everything in the bag, the thing with watercolors is that they wash out pretty easily. They don't really stain things. I mean, I haven't like painted my clothes or anything with them, but I never really worry about the brushes having a little extra paint. It's just watercolor. It's not that big a deal. I don't really want to take this whole set out with me, so I have this little envelope. I'm just gonna, it'd be really funny if this card doesn't fit in that envelope. Oh, maybe it does. Maybe it does. Oh, it doesn't. Okay. We'll just stick it in like this. It's not gonna close, but it'll be kept safe. Safe from what? I don't know. It's also just gonna go in the bag. And then my tape, we're taping around the edges, and then I will go fill this water, and we can go. In the background, you'll hear Panama versus USA because I am currently watching that game. And he may be just ahead of the last defender at that time. Here we go. Here she is. Yeah, it's offside. It was. Oh, the goal was called offside. Unfortunate. It was 5 minutes in, so it's. They could probably score another one. That does suck, though. McKinney denied a goal. The U.S. denied an early goal. This part's always so satisfying. See how both teams react to that moment as Adam steps in to knock it away.
What's the significance? You mentioned how defensively Panama are set up. What's the significance of being able to get an early goal for the U.S. tonight?
Well, if you get an early
Okay.
goal against a
Now
team
we
that's sitting
give
back,
her
it
the
forces them
date
to have to
today.
eventually come out to try to score. So that would have been the perfect
Is
start. The nightmare start is that you
June
concede and then the team just ends up sitting deep.
27th. And then we
You're immediately
sign.
cringing and holding your hands out as you say that, as if you've just jinxed something.
Here we are. There she is.
Martinez with a long
Thank you,
assist.
Jessica.
Mario scored a